What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? It is Monday morning, the start of another week after a emotional roller coaster of a weekend. Monday, May 6th, 11 a.m. in New York City, 8 a.m. Vancouver, British Columbia, 9 a.m. here in San Jose, Costa Rica. We have a lot to talk about. First thing I want to talk about is the man that I believe is the heart and soul of this show, Vegas Gun, whom I love dearly and is a part of every show here. He has been moved to the UCLA hospital for his cancer treatment, and he has a new specialist that's going to be working on him, and it's exciting, and there's a lot of hope, and I just want everybody, all of us low baggers, to just, however you do it, please just send our guy, Vegas Gun, energy, love, positivity, and strength right now. Okay. Now, we need to talk about the Derby. And we will. Fuck, I'm still like fucking emotional and heavy. And okay. Shout out to all the captains in chat. We got Brian Watson, Demetrius Miller, Matt Randall, Jeff Joseph, Armin Hinosa in the house, Alex Ramirez, Rosie, Carlos Thomas, Trey Hicks, Vaughn Polo, Kobe Valentine, Mr. Gokster, Ben Diaz, Gabriel Hernandez, Art Hayes, Antoine Seymour, Big Ragu, the big guy, Bubba, Vaughn Polo, Luces Fox, Flick My, Big Yo-Yo Street, Top Set, Dave L.A., Carlos Baroge, Xavier Oliver, Astute Chaos, Kobe Valentine, Carlos Baroge, again, Dave L.A. again. Okay, thank you guys so much for joining us. We got Drew Daddy, we got Yellow Jesus. Yellow Jesus said, Jimmy, do you think that any of the events on this weekend's Kentucky Derby has anything to do with legalized gambling? Von Polo said, my wife was literally crying because we lost all of our money. Man, Tease, Gate Pass Keys in the house. Wow, nice seeing Gate Pass. Alonzo Shivers, nice. Okay, well, let's talk about it. Okay, so it basically comes down to this. Kentucky's rule, and basically the horse racing's rules, a leading horse, if clear, is entitled to any part of the track. And he just wasn't quite clear. He wasn't clear. So that's the first part. The second part is that almost all countries, so there's two categories with interference rules in the Horse Racing Federation in the world. There's two categories. And almost every country, except for Canada and America, have adopted the category 1 interference rules. So that's Australia, Japan, France, the UK. So in all of those countries, maximum securities win would have been upheld because the officials there have more discretion to determine where each horse would have finished had the interference not occurred. Because they have discretion to say, no, the best horse won. And that's what happened in the race. The best horse, maximum security, won the race. So, IFHA, those are category 1 rules for interference. Now, Canada and America, and we take a lot of heat from the rest of the world in Horse Racing Federation. There were a lot of heat for not adopting. For Canada and America, we have category 2 rules. There's no discretion allowed. If a horse is determined to have interfered, it is placed behind the horse that suffered the interference, regardless of what could have or would have been if there was no interference. So they determined that maximum security, it bothered all but 2 of the other horses in the race, dropping them to 17th. And listen, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. You know, But those are the rules. So by the rules dictated that's what should have happened. But in any other country other than Canada and America, maximum security would win that race. And should Canada and America adopt the Category 1 rules for interference? Yes. Yes, they should. So that's basically what happened. Carlos Pro should agree or disagree with the ruling. It has to be. It's bullshit. But the rule is the rule in Canada and America, and it's stupid. There should be discretion used as to who was the best, who was going to win this race had the interference gone on or not gone on. We saw what maximum security did was the heart of a champion there in that last furlong. Do you think that War of Will would have caught him? I don't. And War of Will's jockey didn't put in a complaint for interference or an objection. So those are the rules. So we just have to deal with them. Even if it makes us extremely upset. And it took money out of so many of my friends' pockets and myself. So Von Polo says, I'm not even excited for the Preakness at this point. Maximum Security is not running in the Preakness. Service just announced that, I believe, this morning. So that's what's up. Maximum Security not running in the Preakness. And we will cap the Preakness and just kind of move forward. And that's all we can do. VHAT10 says, what is the appeal process? The appeal process is going on right now. They have appealed the race, and I can't believe Gary West. I mean, this guy, he's never won a Derby, and Jason Service, and then Bill Mott gets his Derby like this. The thing's a mess. I'm going to study more about the appeal process because, in all honesty, I don't know a ton about it. How it works, if anything's ever been overturned. I mean, surely this is not going to be overturned. That's just not going to happen. Could they say, you know what, maybe he shouldn't be put in 17th? Possibly. I don't know. Okay. Don Regis says, I'm disgusted on the whole thing. A lot of us are. Don Regis says, honestly, these are the things that make most tracks empty 362 days a year. I agree. I absolutely agree. This is bad for horse racing. But we have not adopted the right rules. So there is nothing really that could be done other than, sadly putting maximum security down to 17th. And there's Alex Ramirez with his positivity. Says, shit happens, let's roll. Okay. Anthony L, very safe. Very, very, very safe. To be honest with you, and I know that but if I was Bill Mott and I own Country House, why race him in the Preakness in 2 weeks when he's not going to win it? There's not going to be enough distance. And now with maximum security, who knows if there's even going to be a pace around in it? You have the Kentucky Derby winner right now. I don't even know what am I talking about? You'd have to talk to the owners. Maybe the owners want to run him. But if I'm Bill Mott, I'm not saying, let's go right to the Preakness right now. Let's think this over. But, okay. And there's Top Set, says, let's roll. I'm the only winner. Top Set, hit the $3,000 exactor, Country House, the Code of Honor. Jose Contreras says, I'm done with the ponies. See, that's not what I want. David Hutton says, all I hear is it was called for the safety of the horses. The horse got spooked. It did. I don't blame Luis Saez, although he might have been able to do something to stop him from moving to that direction. But David Hutton's absolutely right. If you are concerned for safety, don't race 19 horses or 20, which we generally have at once. All right. Carlos Bro says, Jockey says he's a baby. Do you think, if he definitely, something happened. I mean, there's 200,000 fans who are not used to it. Something happened. Big Rigoo says, new shooter will win with fresh horses. Yes, but and Bourbon War could be one of the horses that we like, but is there going to be a pace to run into? So, Big Guy Bubba says, Saez tried immediately. Yeah, I'm not blaming him. And Eric Nisbet says, under 221 in Buck Celtics. Okay, let's get to work. Thank you, Kobe. Yeah, it just hurt, man. It just hurt. It just hurt. This one just stung. Stung. Derby streak over. Okay. All right, so this is how the day's going. So in about 23 minutes, we're going to be joined by Anthony L., who has two baseball plays. Then 10 minutes after that, we're going to be joined by our man Drew Martin, who has 3 plays in baseball. So right now, there's Jay Money in the house. Love seeing that. Jeff Jones, it wasn't clear to me who actually laid the claim of foul. The claim of foul, the objection was by the jockeys of the eventual winner, Country House, and 58-year-old John Court, whose horse may or may not have been involved at that point. Okay, so Big Ragu says Saez is a great rider, period. Yeah, I'm not saying anything about, I'm not putting down Luis Saez by any imagination. Oh no, Von Polo. I even have tickets to the Preakness. I have tickets for the Infield Fest. I'm not going. I'm letting those tickets go. Sit on that for a minute, Von Polo. That's not what I... My whole hope was to bring more people towards horse racing and loving the great sport of horse racing, and that doesn't feel like that's happened. Okay. Von Polo, take some time. I can understand you're upset, but take some time before you make that decision. Okay. So we're going to briefly talk about NHL and NBA. Put a little bit more time in NHL. We're going to focus on NBA on the late show. And then let's get to work. Bruins, Blackhawks. Let's get the numbers here right now. Bruins, Blackhawks. Sorry, I'm not thinking. Bruins, Blue Jackets. Let's get the spreads and totals. A lot of the early money coming in on Columbus. This total is at 5.5. When I take a look at these totals, the Bruins, Jackets juiced heavily to the under and at 5.5. And then the San Jose, Colorado total that's moved down to 5.5 as well, juiced heavily to the over. I'm going to go against both of those. Both of where the juice is running. I don't agree at all about why it's so juiced to certain ways, and I'm on the completely other side. So, Rapo Wano says Warriors rolled tonight. Think Steph and Clay have another off night. Warriors +2 and under 221. I don't know about Clay, but clearly Steph is a little banged up. I mean, he's got a finger issue, he's got an ankle issue, but we'll get to that. Okay, so Bruins top line stepped up enormously. Silent 3 games, they stepped up. That's what's changed this series. Patrice Bergeron always steps up. That had to be expected out of this guy. Marchand is a guy who keeps fighting. And Pasternak is a young sniper who stepped up as well. Tortorella says this happens for a reason. I truly believe that. We will be back here for Game 7. I don't dislike the coach saying that, and I don't really like the coach saying that. It sort of depends how you look at it. I'd rather the players step up and do those kind of that kind of talking. We saw what happened when Gabby Boudreau said, listen, and the coach of the Wild said, we're going to make the playoffs. Mark my words, we're going to make... You let the players be accountable and step up. Because you're not on the ice, Torts. But I don't dislike it. He has faith in his hockey team. Gas Station Susie said the correct decision was made by the stewards regarding the DQ in the Derby. Yes. Because of the rules that we use in North American racing. So, I'm not denying that. But if that had happened in Japan or in Australia or somewhere else, they have different rules and they can, so then you're applying. We can't use the discretion. Okay, so Seth Jones, 6th goal in 9 postseason games. He's playing spectacularly well. Duchesne continues to play very well. Zingle also, and Kukan, now 16 different Jackets have scored this postseason. Columbus has won 3 of its 4 postseason games in Nationwide Arena this spring. Boston is 3-2. All that said, this is how I'm handling the Bruins Jackets game. I'm taking the Columbus Blue Jackets to win at -119. That's available at Bet Online. I'm also taking the over 5.5. That is at +120. That's available at Heritage and at 5 dimes. Over 5.5. +120. Now, Sharks, Avalanche. Grubauer, Jones. Pavelski might be in the lineup. may not, but he could be in the lineup for Game 6 here tonight. Nathan McKinnon's streak was stopped. Grubauer is still playing well. The Sharks understand what they have to do to win this series, and they need to do it in Game 6. They're going to be playing extremely tight hockey. And if the Avalanche go off, if it's a free-flowing offensive game, the Sharks will lose. And it's just that this Avalanche defense is so young and fast, and then the Avalanche have this spectacular line. The Sharks are dealing with injuries. Now, I'm not going to hedge my action. I think I'm in a really nice spot here. If it goes back to Colorado for Game 7, I will have to hedge my action, my futures action. But I'm not going to do it here. But I've been the one saying about unders in this series, and that's the only way the Sharks could win this series. Now, if this series was all full of overs, it'd be 3-2, I'm sure, for Colorado, or it'd be over by now. So, in saying all that, I'm taking the under 5.5 at +1. Oh, wow, look at that. They're still hanging a 6 at Heritage. Unbelievable. Okay. Wow. Heritage hanging a 6. Is there any other book? I can't believe they're hanging a 6. Any other book hanging a 6 that we use? No. Oh, no. There is 2 other books, but they're books that we don't use. Wow. Unbelievable. Heritage hanging a 6. Let's just quickly see what the movement's been on this here at Heritage. Wow. Under 6 was -115, which means people, when the 6 over 6 was +105, people started betting it. It went down to +100, now -105. Unbelievable. I find that unbelievable. I will take the under 6 at -105. Shout out to May 910 in the house. Anna Merrick says, Saturday was a brutal shit show, man. I'll be better this week. Sorry, bro. You know, we don't need to apologize. That's not how we work. We don't apologize to each other. You hit at a very high percentage, and we will roll with you through the good and through the bad. And that's just... Steven Esposito says, nowhere in Vegas you're getting a 6. I'm shocked. But we should take advantage of it. Just to make sure, let me just go to Heritage right now so I'm not just taking something that... Heritage here, we're going to go quickly, just check out what they're doing here. Let's see what we get quickly. And then I know we've got lots of stuff to move on to. It's going to be... Darmy says, Sharks are also playing in the series. They should have dominated. Avs free rolling, and it's helped this team. Well, I don't... I hear you. I mean, with the Sharks dealing with the injuries that they're going through, I don't know if it's a... Oh, man. Yeah, it's not 6 here. Oh, yeah, it is. It's 6. Wow. Unbelievable. It's not -105, though. It's -110. 6 at Heritage. Unbelievable. I find that unbelievable. All right, I'm taking that. I'm taking the under 6. I just went to the site, so Sportsbook Review's a little behind on moving that number there, but I'll take it 6 -110. Wow. Okay. Dion Davis says, I think it goes over, Jimmy. Well, Dion Davis, you know, trust your gut. Trust your gut. Kate Pasky says, like Columbus too, not sure about the over. Steven Esposito says, take it. Yeah, Dion Davis, this is just about us working together. We don't need to be on the same side of everything. If you like goals in this game, go for it. But if there's goals in this game, you know, the Avalanche should win. If it's 3-1, the Sharks will win. So, okay, let's move on to NBA and talk about it briefly here. We're going to hammer it harder on the late show. I'm going to get somebody to come in and help us with it. Let's go. Spreads and total shit. Could you put up the hockey record? Sorry, we're going to keep the transparency and the time it takes to put these records in. So I did not make a lot of moves in NHL in the later part of the week there. I was just focusing more on horses. Thank you. And then I did make some moves in basketball. I did not do well with the Celtics early, but I fixed that with the Blazers first quarter and the Rockets in Game 3. Rafa, my man, can you put up the NBA records? All right, let's talk Bucks Celtics right now. God, that's an ugly Feb 7th to present. Could have been uglier. Shit. February 7th to present. Bucks Boston total opens at 221. It's now at 220.5. They're still 221 a bookmaker. -1.5 for the Celtics. Dom Ricci just took the under 8.5 in the Reds game early. A lot of people talking about the over in that spot. We're going to talk about that extensively. Okay, so Milwaukee took that 2-1 series lead. Antetokounmpo is taking it over, 32, 13, and 8, but it's what he's doing from the foul line. He got 22 opportunities from the foul line in Game 3. Sixth player this decade to get at least 22 trips. Sixth player this decade. Last one was Butler. Unbelievable. Butler in 2017 got 24. He's got 50 free throws so far this series. Bucks are expected to be again without Malcolm Brogdon. And the Celtics could have Marcus Smart back. And that would be a big, big, big deal. If they get, oh, look at that. We have Gas Station Sushi coming in with some plays. Love it, Gas Station Sushi. Thank you. Some more. Anyone who wants to go back to the horses right now? Oh, man. So I need more time, and I need to break this down more with some other cappers. This dude Chaos saying Milwaukee, Boston under 220. Dion Davis saying Kyrie will have a great game. I feel like those props, the Kyrie props, have been very easy for us. I screwed up by making it more difficult with the adding 3-pointers, which was a mistake. Just keep it simple, keep it simple. And it was 2.5 was the 3-pointers, and he only got 2 made threes. Let's get a quick look at what we're getting props-wise, player points with Kyrie Irving here at home. Kyrie, 25.5 at -120. So we got 23.5 before. 25.5. I find that interesting. It's 2 points higher, though. 26 is a lot of points to get. Steve Cordero says Celtics all day. Jose Ruiz says, Jimmy, you don't need time. Boston today, bet everything, promise. I'm close. Tomor says Boston can't win the series if they call fouls every time someone touches Giannis in the paint. I get it. Yeah. Jay Money, 2-2, headed back to Milwaukee. Jay Money liking the Celtics. I like them too. I'm hesitant right now. I'd like to know when Marcus Smart is going to be in the lineup. Okay. So, Warriors, Rockets, shout out to Noli Nose in the house. Steven Cordero says this is so easy. Celtics took over 221 last night, says Bubba. Matt Randall's deciding on what's going to be the taint. Daryl Lyles says Celtics and Golden State Warriors. So, Curry shot 17 to 23, missed 7 to 9 3-pointers. I understand why everybody likes the Warriors here. Durant goes for 46. Green's playing so well, triple-double. Iguodala's playing well. If they just got a little something from the Splash Brothers, they win Game 3. Gordon coming off a playoff career-high 30 points, went 7 for 14 for 3. His defense has been very good, averaging 24 points on 41.2% three-point shooting in the series. Dav Fenn taking the first half again for the Celtics. Interesting look, Dav Fenn. That might be real sharp. Astute Chaos says, I'm leaning Boston first half. Big Guy Bubba says Sharps are heavy on the Rockets. I do like this series going back 2-2. I hear you, Jose Villegas. I absolutely hear you. Raul Perwando on the Celtics -1. Gas Station Sushi has another one. I'm going to copy and paste that. Demetrius saying that Durant's carrying these guys. They are getting lots from Draymond and Iguodala. I like Celtics Rockets. Coco Bongo says they took a little piece of my soul on Saturday. We can't let them. We can't let them. Carlos Bro says I got the Warriors after a lot to me. I get it. I'm not going to make a move just yet. I'm going to need time. NHL, I'm a little more comfortable. Feel like I'm seeing it a little more comfortably. But basketball, I will have plays and we'll make moves later. So, all right, that's that. Let's move on to baseball. I lost on the Sunday Nighter under, and then I lost on that Giants score first at the end of the day. And I was going to have an okay, well, not still shit, but I'm still just exactly where I was when I started last week, which is disappointing because of those 2 losses. Graphic, put up the baseball record. Oh, yuck. All right. Yeah, no, I'm with you, Jeff. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. Gonna have to get some cash together for the Preakness. Okay, let's get through this opening game first, and then we're going to bring on Anthony L. in 9 minutes, Drew Martin in 19 minutes, and hear what they're on. Any baseball game that we don't get to, we will finish off on the late show. Okay, James says Houston was better last year. They'll lose tonight. Jose Ruiz says Rockets a trap line. Take the Rockets. And Don Reed says you can't let horse racing be a big part of your betting unless you live at the track. Oh, if you're live? What? Okay, sorry. I missed Dom. Can you explain that a little bit more? Sorry, I'm still a little burnt from this last week. Was a lot of work. Okay, Giants Reds 69 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 4 miles per hour, sideways. Let's take a look at the lineups. A lot of pieces to the puzzle, figuring out who these guys, Bocce and Bell, are going to be using in the lineup. A lot of guys are hot for these two teams, surprisingly. But Dietrich can't go up against a lefty, so he's not in the lineup. All right, here we go. Nick Senzel, Votto, Suarez, Puig, Farmer, Iglesias, Casali, Peraza. And then for the Giants, Panic, Dugar, Vogt. Stephen Vogt, come up from minors and look pretty good. Brandon Belt, Sandoval, Pilar, Crawford, Gerber. We've seen all these runs of late, but these are not the guys that are going to provide runs. And this total stuck at 8.5. Reds open to minus 135. There's been a 10-cent move at BetOnline towards the Cincinnati Reds. 10-cent move before the Cincinnati Reds. CT Bays says, any reason for the Sunday night baseball under? I've yet to tail as I don't see why. Yeah, we can break it down. Also, I'd like to get Dave LA back on the show. That was a while because he had plays on that Giants game. That was his big game. And in that comeback, both Kobe and Dave LA hit over plus 1,000 with the Giants coming back. So we'll get him to explain it because it's really his play. So I don't want to butcher it. But we'll do it. Oh, yeah, I hear you, Dominic says, if you're betting horses, in my opinion, unless you're at the track every day, it's a tough sport to beat. Yeah, I agree. But I think on these big cards where we can study it for so long and they're the best horses in the world, it's much easier to predict what the pace and what the race is going to be like. But I hear you, Dom, absolutely. Okay, so let's go. Giants, Reds. Pomeranz, Disclafani. Giants are hitting 215, 643 OPS versus righties. Reds are terrible against lefties, 208, 692 OPS. Giants have been down by big amounts of runs, 8, 7, and 4 in the first 3 games. Rallied to win 2 of them. Disclafani, 1-1 with a 6.89 ERA and 3 career starts against the Giants, but he's pitching better. Pomeranz, so 2-1 with a 1.56 ERA and 3 lifetime starts against the Reds. Noli Nose took no score in the Giants-Reds first inning. Marco Thierry liking the under. Don Regis says, love the Reds pitching staff. Alonzo Shiver says, I'd like the Reds to end the last game. We'll see if either of our cappers have anything. Don Ricci saying, love this under 8.5. 69 Fahrenheit. Been a lot of runs in this series. Do they stop here? Possibly in the morning game. Top sets on the first 5 under. Luchace Fox on the Reds' first 5. Jay Money liking the under here as well. Wow, just moved to 8, says Jay Money. Really? Let me see if I get that here. Totals. It's 8.5 everywhere. It's 8 at Bovada. But 8.5 everywhere. I'll see if there are any other 8s. Yeah, it's 8.5 everywhere. On here. Oh, no, I guess, yeah, it's Bovada. All right. Well, I'm going to see if I'm interested in the under, but I want to see what. I guess you're right. Okay, we have another one. Gas station sushi coming in. Oh no, that's the last play, the Thistledown play. Okay. And Matt Randall, play of the day, Toronto Blue Jays money line, 26-1 in the last 27. I have some interest in the first 5 as well, top set. Okay, so let's move on to the later games. Just start going through them as quick as possible, and then we're going to be joined by Anthony Larson in 4 minutes. Okay. White Sox, Indians, 70 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 7 miles per hour, out to right field. Nova versus Bauer. Bauer being very good this year. When I was writing his stats down, 2.45 ERA, 1.05 whip, 47 2/3, 55 Ks, 23 walks, 4 homers. I was like, I thought I'd made a mistake. I was like, he doesn't have 23 walks, really? But he does, and that's been a big problem for him this year. That's been his only problem. He is acting like a perfectionist, and he's just walking too many batters. Against the Marlins, he allowed 4 runs, 4 hits, 4 walks, 7 innings, 10 Ks. Previous start, he walked 6, but allowed 1 run, 4 hits, 8 innings, 2-1 victory over Houston. 18 appearances against the White Sox. He's been very good against them. 8-3 with a 3.21 ERA. And then the White Sox are coming off just getting destroyed in the last 3 games by the Red Sox. They lost the last 3 games by a combined score of 30-5. That included a 9-2 defeat on Sunday. Nova 2-1, 3.70 ERA in 4 career starts against the Indians. Kobe Valentine has a parlay here. Milwaukee, Houston, Cleveland plus 255. So Cleveland is part of Kobe's parlay there. Nova's not looked good this year. And I expect them to step up in these types of situations because their pitching staff is just being destroyed. And this is the only, once every 5 days where they're going to have confidence, and the offense should have confidence. Total opened at 8.5. It's now a 9. See what the money line is here quickly. Money line here opened at minus 230. 15-cent move towards the Cleveland Indians. Going on, said Bauer called himself out last game, said he sucked, needs to get better. I think he has a get-right game today. I'm loving these spots. Oh, wow, and Tease is at Delaware Park now. Beautiful, Tease. On a Monday after the Derby, love it. Shout out to Viper NB. Okay, Red Sox, Orioles. We're going to see just kind of go down these games and then be joined by Ant in 2 minutes. Yeah, I hear Viper MB. It's we talk quite a bit about it. All right, Red Sox, Orioles, 71 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 3 miles per hour out to right center. We have Josh Smith, 31-year-old journeyman, starting for the Red Sox in Pawtucket this year. 1-1, 3.78 ERA, 1.38 WHIP, 16 2/3, 23 Ks, 5 walks. Going up against John Means, who's been great this year. And I think he'll come back to earth. He certainly did in his last start. That was on his 26th birthday. 3-3, 2.81 ERA, 1.17 WHIP, 25 2/3, 25 Ks, 7 walks. Red Sox hitting 247, 755 OPS versus lefties. Orioles hitting 238, 696 OPS versus righties. Red Sox are now just 1 game under 500. They won 8 of their last 11. Things are turning around. They scored 24 runs in their past 2 games. They went 5 for 11 with runners in scoring position on Sunday. The Orioles are going with John Means, who's been their best pitcher, but he struggled in his 1 start against the Red Sox. These are 2 big favorites here with the Red Sox and with the Indians. I'd be interested to see if Ant or Drew Martin is on them. And then why don't we talk about one more game before we bring him in? One more game. We got Joey Avang in the house and says, it's my birthday, need a birthday pick, and I'm proposing to my girlfriend tonight. Oh, wow, Joey Avang. What a big day for you. Your birthday, a proposal? We need to get you a winner for sure. Well, we're going to start going over the best plays on the card. But first off, Taint play of the day, Matt Randall, 26-1, is the Blue Jays. But congratulations, Joey Vang. That's very, very exciting, my man. Okay, we're going to quickly talk Mariners-Yankees. Hernandez versus Sabathia, 2 old stars. But Hernandez is not as... He's only 33. But we think of him as being the same age as Sabathia. Mariners and Yankees. Yankees are hitting nice versus righties. Mariners hitting nice versus lefties. Yankees 13-5 in the last 18 games. And Sabathia, this is a very interesting situation. Sabathia's always been good against the Mariners. 14-6, 2.60 ERA, 178 strikeouts. Hernandez has just been very interesting. So 6-5, 4.36 ERA 2017, 8-14, 5.55 ERA last season. His velocity just keeps going down. Now it's actually up 0.4 miles per hour from last year, 89.3 to 89.7 this year. But he now knows he needs to rely on his curveball. He needs to rely on everything else. He's now throwing his curveball 34.1% of the time. And hitters are just 7 for 33 against it. Hernandez, great numbers, especially at Yankee Stadium. 6-1, 1.44 ERA. Shout out to Lamont Williams. Thank you for joining us. Tom Marino says, Cleveland is hitting well enough to late minus 245. Let's hear what our baseball experts have to say about this. Let's bring in our first baseball expert. We have Ant L in the house. Thank you so much for joining us on this Monday morning. What are the games? First off, thank you for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, Jimmy. How are you?
I'm a little burnt.
The Derby?
Yeah, put a lot of energy into this past weekend, and Just seemed like Monday came very, very quickly. But we'll keep. I try to keep my shit together. But let's start with some. Let's start with some winners. Let's start with some winners. That will help. What are you looking at on today's baseball card?
I got 3 plays right now today in the Phillies game, in the Brewers Nationals game, and then also on the Cubs and Marlins.
Okay.
In the Phillies game, kind of looking at, you got Velasquez and Mikolas. I'm kind of looking to fade Mikolas here a bit. He's actually been pretty bad this year. All of his numbers show that he's pretty bad. He's got a 4.99 Sierra with a 4.73 ERA. He's not striking guys out, so he's not really being able to get out of jams when he has runners on base. So I'm taking the Phillies at that plus money price at 120.
Backing the Phillies at plus 120. That interesting. That's an interesting look. Phillies are hitting. Yeah. Keep expanding on it.
No, I was just saying, I also like their bullpen a little bit better, and I like their offense a little bit better. So when you give me a plus money price on a team that I think their lineup and their bullpen's already slightly better than the Cardinals, and then you look at the starting pitchers. I mean, Velasquez isn't that great either. But if the starting pitchers are going to be a wash, and then you're going to give me plus money on a coin flip for the rest of the game, I'm going to take that plus money.
Sure. No, it's an interesting look. The best you can get is plus 120 at Pinnacle. The worst you can get is plus 108 at Bovada. All right, and Al, starting with the Phillies. Very, very interesting look. What's next on the card?
This next one might be a little bit of a controversial pick because there has been, people have been talking about the travel spot that the Nationals have been in today. But I kind of took that into consideration. So I took it from a 2-unit play down to a 1.5-unit play. But I still think there's way too big of an edge here to pass it up. And I'm taking the Nationals first 5 at minus 125. You have Max Scherzer, who outside of his ERA, everything else says he's still Max Scherzer. All of his peripheral stats are still elite. His issue has been his batting average of balls in plays at 377, which is 60 points higher than league average. So he's been very unlucky with his batted balls in play. So if that just kind of progresses back to the mean, so to speak, he's going to be showing his elite stuff again. And that ERA of his is going to drop down to what we would normally expect Max Scherzer to be at. Because right now his ERA is over 4, which is kind of crazy when you look at his strikeout to K ratio, everything else with him. He's still an elite starting pitcher, and he's going up against Chassin, who's fucking abysmal. Pardon my language, but Chassin's terrible. There's nothing to like about Julius Chassin in this matchup, and you're giving me minus 125 with a starting pitcher who's got multiple Cy Youngs versus a journeyman starting pitcher who throws meatballs down the middle of the plate. So, I mean, that's just kind of an easy play. Even with the travel spot that the Nationals are in, I still really like this price here for the Nationals on the first 5 innings. I would avoid the full game, though, because the Nationals, Scherzer's liable to shoot a 7-inning shutout and get taken out of the game, and then the bullpen gives up 10 runs. I mean, who knows? That bullpen's horrible for the Nationals, so I would never touch a Nationals full game bet right now.
I like this look a lot. Bobby, did you say Washington lineup is a AAA team with all those injuries? But it's hard to imagine that we could get Max Scherzer. It's actually minus 115 at some books here. It's let me get to it right. It's minus 115 at Bookmaker. Minus 117 at 5 dimes. I think
I think a lot of that has to do with the lineups because, let's be honest, the Nationals lineup isn't that good, but neither's the Brewers starting pitcher. The Royals have a AAA lineup, and they've shown that even a AAA lineup can get 8-9 runs off of a garbage pitcher.
Don Corleone liking the under in this one. Don Reed said I went 4-0 with the Brewers and under versus Mets. Jumped on Brewers at minus 105. Corey Valentine says Yelich will hit a jack and Washington won't be able to come back. And Viper MB saying that's trash, but I think you're right. Minus 110 at Bovada, is that right? Minus 110 at Bovada? I've got minus 125 at Bovada here on Sportsbook Review. So I'll just take what I see here. I like the look. Top Set says, I agree on Nats first 5, but I'm on Brewers.
I wouldn't blame anybody for wanting to be on the Brewers here just on principle alone of trying to fade that Nationals lineup, but I'm not going to pass up that opportunity with that cheap price with Scherzer versus Chacin.
Oh, I think I really like. I'm tailing this one. I really like that look. I think that makes a ton of sense. Nationals first 5. When are you going to get minus 115 with Scherzer? Still 62 Ks to 7 walks. Okay, I'm in. What's next?
This next one, this is actually my biggest play, and I know people might think I'm just being a homer because I'm wearing my Cubs hoodie, I'm drinking my water out of my Cubs glass, and all that stuff. But right now, let's just kind of look at some of the numbers. Over the last 14 days, the Cubs the Cubs lineup is first in slugging, first in weighted runs created plus, which is your expected runs created. First or second in WOBA, and they're first in home runs. And they're going up against the Marlins, who we all know the Marlins have one of the worst bullpens in the league. On top of that, the Marlins are throwing out Alcantara, who's one of their bad starting pitchers. Because the Marlins actually have a couple decent starting pitchers, like Smith and Lopez have some pretty good upside, but Alcantara is not one of them. This guy's not good at all. He's got a terrible K rate. He's got a terrible walk rate. So you kind of probably see where I'm leading here. I'm going with the Cubs team total over 4.5 at minus 110 for 2 units.
Wow, Cubs team total over. That makes a ton of sense. Dave LA joining us says Cubs run line is my play of the day. What is keeping you from taking the Cubs run line when the Marlins are hitting 225, 593 OPS versus lefties?
I honestly just think the Cubs are overjuiced here. I think it's minus 300 right now on the Cubs money line. So if there's no value on that money line, there's definitely going to be no value on the run line because the run line is, the long-term EV of betting a money line and a run line is the same. So if minus 300 is still too high on the Cubs to take on the money line at this point, they're probably about closer to minus 230 favors what their true value should be.
Yeah, I hear that. For the run line, the best you can get is at Pinnacle at minus 119. The worst you can get is at Bookmaker at minus 130. Interesting. And then I'm jumping on Pinnacle right now to see what I could get on the team total because I like that look. They're rolling right now. There's no doubt about it. Cubs team totals here. Oh, sorry. Let me just switch this to. Okay, there we go. Cubs team total here is over 4.5 at minus 101. That's a great look. That is a great look. I'm going to jump on that. I'm going to tail that for sure. I think that's a great look. Over 4.5, minus 101 for the team total. That's beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. So recapping, Ant is on the Cubs team total over 4.5 at minus 101 for 2 units. And I really like that look. Alcantara throws fast. So if you barrel up, you're going to get some big hits. And Nationals first 5 minus 115. I mean, we're getting a discount on Scherzer because of that ERA and the 1-4 start. And so I agree. I think the capping there is very sharp. I absolutely like it. And then the other spot, sorry, where is it here? It was the Phillies. At plus money here. I have not tailed that, but I just need a little more time to sit with it. But, I guess, and Velasquez historically, I know he's looked much better this year with movement, but historically he has hurt me. But those are your 3 plays?
Yeah, like I said, I'm mostly fading Mikolas. I think if I can understand how you could have trepidations with Velasquez. He's definitely not a number 1 starter by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, but I like your looks. I think this is great. The idea of taking Scherzer at minus 115, I think, is very sound. It makes a ton of sense. And then getting the Cubs team total over 4.5 minus 101. I know that the wind is coming in, but this is just a very, very hot lineup right now. And I am interested in the minus 1.5 still, just with Hamels, the form he's in, knowing that the Marlins aren't hitting against lefties. So at minus 1, but you don't ever take run lines. That's right, Ant?
Yeah, I don't ever bet run lines, but that's mainly just because I get really mad when I bet on a team and the team wins and I still lose my bet. That it's because I'll create -1 lines by betting the run line and the money line to create a -1 to where I could push if the team wins by 1 run.
Yeah.
But I never actually bet a run line. Um, but overall, it doesn't matter if you're betting run lines or money lines. I mean, the long-term EV is the same or within a percent of each other.
Yeah.
I mean, you take a team -1.5 at +170 versus taking them on the money line at, minus whatever it is, -130, -140. I mean, the long-term payout's going to be virtually the same.
Yeah, no, I hear that. This is great stuff. And Al, my guy, thank you so much for joining us. Where can we find you on Twitter? What shows do you want to talk about that's going on at Sportskeg?
Yeah, you can find me at @AntL_SportsKeg. You could also find my buddy Jay, who I do the Sportskeg YouTube channel with, at Sportskeg CEO on Twitter. And you can find our channel on the Sportskeg on YouTube. We go on almost every night and we do live betting. We have a lot of guests on. Maxwell Smart likes to come on and hang with us. Twatty Latte, a low bagger extraordinaire. With it being baseball season, he likes to come on and him and I talk baseball for a few hours too. Find some good betting spots for live betting in baseball. And we've been having a lot of fun with the show, and we've been having a lot of success. Jay is the only guy I know who handicaps NASCAR. He was live betting NASCAR, and he made over 20 units in back-to-back weeks on NASCAR live betting it. So if you have a book that allows you to live bet NASCAR, come watch us on Sundays and try and make some money. He hit a 19-1 shot live betting about 2 weeks ago. It was freaking crazy.
Sweet, man. Sweet. I will definitely check it out. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to our guest, Ant L, in the house from Sportskeg with 3 plays, and I tailed 2 of them. Love it. Okay, let's keep rolling along. We have our man, Drew Martin, joining us from Southern Florida in the house. Drew Martin, how you doing on this Monday?
Happy Monday morning to you, Jimmy. I'm doing pretty good, man. Baseball betting's got me a little excited, but I gotta ask you, bro, what was up with the Kentucky Derby, man? And that debacle of a finish, it cost me. I believe it cost you. It was a black eye for the sport, in my opinion. I don't know. What do you feel?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, the problem is that, and we talked about off the top of the show, is that North American horse racing has not adopted the Category 1 rules for interference. We still have the Category 2 rules for interference. Because of that, the stewards don't have discretion over how they thought it affected the race. They don't have that discretion. So I guess you could say that the black eye is about Canada and America holding out from the Category 1 rules for interference. With the rules that we have, that was the right call. It was just a black and white call. Like, there was you don't have any discretion. You just have to make that call. And that's the problem, So from a rules perspective, with the way we do things, horse racing, it's just, and I know that there are a lot of people who don't bet horses year round, who bet on the Derby, and a lot of people lost money there, and who knows if they'll come back. And the whole idea of the Derby is to get more people to horse racing, and sadly, it looks like this has done the opposite, and it sucks. It sucks, but sorry.
No, and Jimmy, I was just going to say, like, Chris is in here, black eye, it was the right call. And like you say, it likely was. I don't know the rules in and out, but like as a casual fan that was getting really excited, and I had the number 7 horse, Maximum Security, and I was sitting there rooting for him to get in front of the other horses, not to like bump into him and knock him over, but I've always felt that was part of the race, so I'm sitting there rooting for him to actually commit the foul. I didn't even know that, so that's just why I feel that way. But yeah, man, sorry to bring up the bad things off the bat here, man.
No, it's all good. No, it has to be talked about. But the rule states if the leading horse is clear, he's entitled to any part of the track. He just wasn't quite clear. He was so close to being clear. He wasn't quite clear. War of Will was coming up. And War of Will didn't even, file an objection. So, yeah, it was very, very disappointing. But, that's highs and lows of this. Let's get some highs right now, Drew. Find us some highs, please. We need them. What are you looking at on today's baseball card?
All right, man. Good stuff. Looking at 3 games here off the top. Got SBR odds up right now. Washington, Milwaukee is one game here. I believe it's 7 p.m. Eastern, maybe 8 p.m. Eastern start. Scherzer versus Chacin. Pretty much a pick 'em price, total of 8 here, Jimmy. And going after this mainly because Washington, lost 8 of their last 11, just lost 7-1 to Philadelphia. I've talked about it on your show before. I believe you're a proponent of this. Kind of riding streaks in baseball can be huge. Washington has not been a very, very much of a bet on team, at least in the recent history here. Matt Adams, Zimmerman, we got Rendon, Trey Turner, Juan Soto, all banged up right now. This lineup is not looking very good right now for the Nationals. And on the other side, Milwaukee gets Yelich back. He just knocks his 15th home run. Even with all those games he was out, he's still the MLB leader. Big time bat in this lineup. Also, righties are averaging under 200 going against Chacin. So looks like Washington's lineup's going to have to even go more righty heavy because of some of their injuries. Milwaukee's got the better bullpen, only threw a total of 18 pitches out of their bullpen just yesterday. So pretty healthy arms coming out of the pen as well. We do give up the better starter by betting on Milwaukee, but we get the better bullpen, the better lineup, and the home team at a pick-em price here. Can even get a couple plus numbers before the show started. So I like the Milwaukee Brewers today, Jimmy.
I can understand liking them full game, definitely. But I liked Anthony L's, who was on before you, breakdown of why he was on the Nationals' first 5. Jhoulys Chacin at times can look okay, and at times he looks terrible. Scherzer's angry. He's 1-4, 63 Ks to 7 walks. I believe I'm not looking at the stats right now, but he's just, or maybe 62 to 7. But he's just, I just think there's value first 5 at -115, and I'm jumping on it. I'm jumping on the Nationals' first 5, but I don't blame anybody for liking the Brewers full game at all. And I can understand the play. What else are you looking at on the card?
Yeah, and also Chacin's coming off of a great start, 6 innings, 0 earned versus that Colorado lineup. So that looks promising in just his last start. But I could see your initial on the starting pitcher just sticking with the first 5. Hopefully there's a way that you can win that and Milwaukee wins the full game. But we'll just have to see. That's part of gambling. Moving down the card here, we got Minnesota, Toronto, Perez versus Stroman. Pretty much another pick 'em price here. And I think that there's some value, mainly because Stroman, he's been off to a great start. I know you know this Toronto team very well, Jimmy. But just last game out, only 3.1 innings, gave up, 4 earned runs versus the Angels. And I know that Angels lineup can be pretty good at times. Toronto, only a 79 weighted runs created number against lefties, facing one here. Perez has been under the radar, man. He's been pretty good this year. And also the Twins took 3 of 4 last time these two teams played in the last series, kind of had their number. He's 4-0 with a 3.4 ERA coming from the left side. And velocity-wise, I like a lot of velocity, especially earlier in the year. He's 2 miles per hour on average with his fastball, higher than last year. Last year he had a down year. This year, out of the gate, he's pitched well. So looking to ride a hot pitcher here, coming from the left side, and Toronto has struggled a little bit facing lefties. So I got a half a unit here on the road team. Minnesota, a better lineup, and one of the better teams out of the gate. Great manager, a surprise team here. And I still think that there's value at a pick 'em price. So I like the Twins.
I get it. Especially Jay's hitting 663 OPS versus lefties. Twins hitting righties hard. And Stroman, a definite candidate for regression after his incredible start early in the year. I get it. Martin Perez coming off of that great start against the Astros. But here we have Matt Randall's taint play of the day on the Blue Jays. And also Glenn Elliott Mann telling us that Mark Lawrence picked the Blue Jays today. That concerns me. Matt Randall saying Vladdy Jr. going to light him up today. Oh, sorry. Glenn Elliott, man, liking the under 8.5. You know, Dave L.A. saying Stroman doesn't get run support at home. You know, if I didn't know about the paint play today and Mark Lawrence on the Jays, I would probably tail this immediately. And I still may. But I'm just going to give it a little bit more time. I like that look, though. Twins at a plus spot. You're getting a little bit of plus money. So far we have the Brew Crew full game and Twins full game from Drew Martin. What else are you looking at?
Yeah, man, and I wish I would have known that, Matt Randall, tame play of the day, but I don't know, man. I guess we're going up against each other. I never like to do that. Another game here, New York Mets, San Diego Padres. Two great pitchers, Paddock and DeGrom. And DeGrom, I know he got off to a shaky start, Jimmy, but his velocity is still there. Last time out, he pitched well. I think that there is still some value on him going forward. He's a great pitcher, one of the better pitchers in the MLB, in my opinion, versus Paddock. Both of these guys are going to light up the radar gun. So I do like the first 5 under, also full game under San Diego Padres, New York Mets. Both of these two lineups of recent haven't been hitting that well, and also off of righties not hitting that well. We also get it in Petco Park at night, the Marine Layer. I think a lot of things point to this being a low-scoring game. First 5, you get it at just 3 runs. I know that's low. It's the lowest first 5 on the board here, but I could see both of these starting pitchers going out, lighting up the opposing lineups here, and both bullpens, decent. The San Diego Padres bullpen is one of the better bullpens in MLB. New York Mets, on the other hand, decent. So full game, I also like the under of 6.5, Jimmy.
Wow. Yeah, that's 3, man. It's just so dangerous, but you got the right guys. Paddock's looked excellent this year, and it's no surprise if you look at his numbers in the minors. This guy is very good. Neither team has an OPS versus righties over 700 or a batting average over 240. So, I mean, it makes sense. Let's see what you're getting on the 3. 3, holy shit, plus 100. Wow, that's a fine line that you're walking there, Drew, at 3 and 6.5. I don't dislike it at all. I dislike it at all. But Christopher Comentini says on the Padres here, they got the mojo. Dave LA's on Padres team total over full game 2.5. It says Padres team total over full game is only 2.5. That's sad. Under is a good play, backing your under spot there. Wow. That's gonna take a little bit more time for me to jump on 3 and 6.5, but I like it, Drew. You have anything else on the card? Sorry.
Yeah, and Jimmy, I was just going to ask you. You bring up the 3 on the first 5. It is a low number, man, and it's something that I've gotten into this year and last year. I had some success with it because when I first got into this business, betting these low numbers, it was just really scary. 6.5, 6, still betting it under. But is it just the number itself? Because 2 guys get on and a home run, bam, now you just push it? Or is it something that you will actually bet, and you've done it before, going under these really low numbers?
Yeah, I've done it before, and Noli knows gives me confidence in them, and I've done it before. It's just that I'm very hesitant to do it. Like it has to be something that I'm just 100% on board for. It's just not something that I would prefer to do. It's just so dangerous. It's not even like we've seen it with errors and you can get crushed. You can get crushed with a missed play, a miscue in the outfield that a sure out turns into a double or a triple. And Russell Gordon says Padres bats are hot going over, so he's thinking it's something I got to be 100% on board for. And I guess I just haven't spent enough time on these late West Coast games at this point. So
that makes a lot of sense, and I guess somebody said Padres bats are hot. They don't hit righties very well, so their team OPS versus righties is down. Weighted runs created number against righties is down. So against DeGrom, I don't see the Padres putting out a lot of output, especially in the first 5. Maybe if they get to the relievers, they could have some success. But I see both starting pitchers pitching very well tonight. But like you said, a couple big plays and this loses, and that's why it's gambling. So to put a unit on the under, I feel confident in it, and hopefully it hits.
Yeah, hopefully it hits. And there's maximum security, huh? Oh man, hurts. Okay, Dave, Drew, we have a game that's popping off here in like 19 minutes. Giants, Reds, Pomeranz, DeSclafani. A lot of talk about hitting the full game under on this, even though we've seen a lot of high-scoring games from them in the last 3 days. Do you have oh wow, it's completely moved down to 8. There were 8.5s all over the place. It's completely moved down to 8 in the last 30 minutes. Wow. All the 8.5s are gone. Did you have a move on this Giants-Reds game?
Yeah, I'd agree with that move towards the under. Pomeranz coming from the left side against that Cincinnati lineup could kind of neutralize some of their power lefty bats. And DeSclafani, he's been a bet-on pitcher for me for quite some time. A solid pitcher overall, and can eat up some innings. So 8.5, I like the under. It's a game I haven't bet though. I did look towards the under earlier.
Yeah, they were saying it was going to go down to 8, and I was like, come on, I'm not going to do it. But wow, it went down to 8 very, very quickly. Yeah, I've not made a move on Reds Giants. So your 3 plays are in. Do you have anything else? Anything else that you're looking at on the card?
No, those are the 3 bets. I'm not a big, huge volume guy on we got a bunch of games today, but still, 3 bets is kind of what I try to limit it to. I'll sometimes go 4, sometimes 2, sometimes 1, but today it's 3, two full unit wagers on Milwaukee and the New York Mets, San Diego Padres under, and a half a unit on the Minnesota-Toronto game. So looking towards the Twins there. But other than that, those are the 3 bets I have pending right now. And maybe on Twitter throwing out something else at Drew Martin Bets. But other than that, that's what I got going.
I like it a lot. Okay. Russell Gordy's been doing a great job fading all of the name brand pitchers stuck on last year's hype, fading the first 5, all of them till July. That's been working. Bled W says, Jimmy, I missed your hockey plays. If you have any, I do have them. And sadly, I'm going right up against Glenn Elliott Man, which is not what I'd like to be doing. Smart money liking Seattle team total under. And Tomarino saying Pavelski might play. He traveled with the team. Yeah, I've got a lot of Sharks futures on the line, and I'm not going to hedge them here. At this point, I'm not going to hedge them here. And that's the plan at this point. So I'm on the under in the game there with plus money. Drew, we got to go now, but let me ask you one question here. If you had a free play on the side, and one was the Mariners with King Felix, the other was this banged-up Yankees team with CC Sabathia in New York, who would you take?
Oh man, King Felix has been my kryptonite. I think I started off the season fading him, like the one commenter said, as far as going against big names, big sexy names that you look to come down. I had that pinned for Felix Hernandez with his velocity being down, and I lost 3 straight units, so I've stayed off of him. And going up against the New York Yankees lineup that is still banged up. They are at home, but still, I would have to learn from my mistakes. And if you gave me a free play, I would be on Seattle in this instance. But I'm not risking my own money. I've stayed away from Felix Hernandez. Burn me once, shame on you. Burn me twice, shame on me. Burn me the 3rd time, I want to jump off of a bridge. So I just don't want to bet Felix Hernandez anymore, man.
Is that what happens when you get burned 3 times? You bridge jump?
I guess, man. I don't want to lose any more money betting his games.
No, I feel you. Oh, that's great. Thank you so much for joining us, Drew. And Joe Anisi liking the over in Yankees Seattle, which is an interesting look. Very, very interesting look. Let's see what we get. Seattle, New York, open at 9, still at 9. It's pretty much a pick 'em at this point. Yeah, I find that very interesting. Look, Joe. Glenn Elliott Man giving us a final score, Yankees 5-3. Dave LA liking Mariners first 5 money line. Drew, where can we find you on Twitter? What shows you got coming up this week?
At Drew Martin Bets on Twitter. I'll be live tonight watching all the games, so hopefully get some live bets in. Feel free to interact. And the other shows, I'll be on tomorrow and Wednesday on your show. We got the Saturday and Sunday NBA playoff closing line show. Been doing well. It's a lot of fun with Ian Cameron and Hakeem Profit, Ski Profit as well. So, Jimmy, I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. So, man, look forward to it. Thanks for having me on.
Our absolute pleasure. There is Drew Martin. My man Nick says, lean Giants or Reds, Jimmy, if you had a free play. The problem is that I would lean Reds for sure, but it's just a little bit too much juice for me. So I would have to take the Reds minus a half. and try to get a score there, a plus 134, plus 135. Just take one last look at the lineup. Senzel, Vodo, Suarez, Puig, Farmer, Iglesias, Casali, Peraza. Yeah, I mean, they have a big advantage, I think. A big advantage with their lineup. Panic, Dugar, Vogt, Belt, Sandoval, Pilar, Crawford. So looking at these two lineups, I think that, I definitely want to take the Reds. But do you trust the Reds here to get you the offense that's going to be required to win by 1.5? Let's just quickly take one last look at, 6-9 fair. Yeah, I guess I like this Sclafani. I like what he's doing. So I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to take the Reds here. My man Zach in the house, born in '94. What up? What up? I'm gonna take the Reds. Torino says Pomeranz has reverse splits. He's been strong against lefties. Reds haven't seen him much though. I'm gonna try and get a score here in the morning. I'll go Reds minus 1.5. The baseball game's on 13 minutes. Reds minus 1.5. And it's a good call. And thank you. Why would I take 1.5 when I can get a much better number at 1 if I'm worried about the scoring? Okay, so I'm going to take Reds minus 1. Thank you, AN. Thank you. I'm just not seeing things very clearly. So money line with the Reds, I'm getting Reds money line will be minus 146 at Pinnacle. Reds money line minus 146 at Pinnacle. And full game here, Reds full game money line. Points 1.5 full game. Reds is plus 136. That's available at Bet Online. And Bet Online returned made that no action bet. If you took maximum security, the good people at Bet Online gave you that money back, and Bet365 paid you out as a winner. Unbelievable. So that's what's up. Thank you, AN. I like that. Okay, so I'm on the Reds minus 146 plus 136. My action in NHL is I'm on the Jackets at minus 119 and the over 5.5 at plus 120. Nut Flush Allen saying Reds run line is a good bet. That's Nut Flush Allen, San Francisco Giants baseball expert right there saying that. And then I'm on the Sharks Avalanche under 6 at minus 110. The 6 is being hung at Heritage, where every other book is hanging 5.5s. I'm still going to bet it under 5.5. I think it's going to be a tight game. And I'm getting plus lines going against the market move where it's juiced on both of those totals. So it's a heavy juice to the under 5.5 and heavy juice in the Bruins game, and then over 5.5 is heavy in the Sharks Avalanche. And then I have not made any basketball plays yet. In MLB, I'm on Reds minus 1. And other than that, I believe I'm only on that white. I'm on 2 plays. I tailed Ant 2 plays. Nationals first 5 at minus 115. And the Cubs team total over 4.5 at minus 101. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this show. Let's have a big week here. Thank you to our guests, Anthony L. and Drew Martin. Let's come back in the black when we're here for the late show. And we're going to have great guests on that show too. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Leche, hey, los bookmakers!